Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. In today's video, we'll be discussing a potential extension of Fabian Redondo Ruiz at Paris Saint Germain. That's what the recent reports are mentioning. The first one here is a bit old. It came all the way back from November here from PSG Inside Act 2. Briefly, because I'm exhausted, I explain better tomorrow. The prison management has no intention of changing course. Campos will extend if Fabian Ruiz doesn't leave this winter. He'll be extended. Luis Enrique wants to keep him. So this was said all the back in November, and this report came out from Nico Shira. PSG is considering extending Fabian Ruiz's contract at year extension, pushing the deadline to 2029 is under review. As we all know, Paris Saint Germain extended Nuno Mendes, Vitinha, Achraf Hakimi this year, alongside Luis Enrique. All of these got extended, the extension boys as we like to call them, and Luis Campos was extended as well. And now Paris Saint Germain are looking at extending Fabian Redondo Ruiz. It mostly has to do with the contract, when the contract ends. That's how Paris Saint Germain are looking at extensions. I've also made a video about Gianluigi Donnarumma. The Paris Saint Germain are looking to extend him as well. And mostly because the contract. So when we go to the expiring date of the contract, you can see Tape. He's also someone Paris Saint-Germain are trying to convince to stay at Paris Saint-Germain, most notably Luis Enrique. Personally, Kimpembe is not part of Luis Enrique's plans and will leave. I've already mentioned that. Donnarumma, as I've mentioned at the moment, pretty much an agreement when it comes to an extension has happened. Anotenas, maybe a loan. We don't really know his future. Is completely irrelevant, honestly. So then the next players you have to extend is Donnarumma, Fabian Ruiz, Seny Mayulu. Seny Mayulu extension wouldn't be that hard. That's something Paris Saint-Germain will later jump onto. But at the moment, it's Fabian Ruiz and Donnarumma they're trying to extend because their contracts end in Donnarumma in 2026, Fabian Ruiz in 2027, and then in the future they will start jumping onto these players. But then talking about Fabian Ruiz has been at Paris Saint-Germain for 3 seasons now. This is his 3rd season at Paris Saint-Germain, as you can see. And statistically, even though, we don't care that much about the stats, especially when it comes to midfielder, statistically, this is his best season. Statistically, this is his best. This is the season where he started the most games, 30 games, played the most games for Paris Saint-Germain, 30 games. And he's contributed to 9 goals and assists. Obviously, in some seasons, he plays maybe a bit deeper and so on. Now he's playing a bit more offensive. It's also the rest of the Paris Saint-Germain squad. This is the best it's been ever since Fabian Ruiz joined the club. But Fabian Ruiz, we obviously talked about him this season, in the middle of the season, potentially selling him. Maybe Paris Saint-Germain were also thinking about that because he was really poor. He was really poor in terms of goal contributions and he was poor in terms of performances. So leading all the way up to December, as you can see, he only had 3 GA for Paris Saint-Germain in all competitions. That's not that good. But since the start of 2025, since the turn of the year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 GA alone in 2025 from Fabian Ruiz. And as you can see, at the moment, this season, he's on 18 GA. One of his best in terms of GA this season entirely, and it's important GA as well. That's the best thing with Fabian Ruiz. Assist in the Trophée du Champion for Dembouz's goal that won us a trophy. As goal versus Arsenal. Then Barcola scored late on. We got the victory versus Arsenal. That was a tough game. Toulouse got the only goal that made us win 1-0. Obviously, 2 assists in a 7-0, not that big. 2 assists right here versus Marseille in a 3-1 victory. Very nice. Not that big. 1 assist in a 6-1 victory. Aston Villa, great assist. Obviously, Sochvice Kvaratskhelia. Nice obviously scored a goal that could have maybe made us come back into the Nice game. Got huge, important goal in the Champions League. That was his first Champions League goal. Fabian Ruiz, that was his first Champions League goal in his entire career. He saved the best, for the best. For the biggest occasion when we needed it the most. But because when we do look at the Champions League, this is Fabian Ruiz Champions League wise, I believe. Yeah, so he scored in the Europa League before, but Champions League wise, this was his first goal ever in the Champions League. And that's for me the main thing when it comes to Fabian Ruiz. If you look at his season or seasons, if we go to all of his seasons, started off obviously at Betis. This was when, Fabian started to get the hype, the praise. He was really great at Betis. Then obviously moved to Napoli, started off really great, but then it faded away. Napoli were looking to move away from him, and then obviously Paris Saint Germain came in for him. But this is the best Fabian Ruiz has been. Fabian Ruiz was recently named, player of the tournament at the Euros. I don't care about Rodri. This is my winner. It's Fabian Redondo Ruiz. This is the guy that, in my eyes, was the best player at the Euros and majority of people. So Fabian Ruiz, I think he's entering his best possible period as a football player. One example that a lot of people like to make is obviously Modric. Modric, when you look at his career, yes, he was good at Spurs and all of that, but when he reached Modric, the great Modric that everyone is talking about, was obviously when he made that move to Real Madrid. It took 1 to 2 seasons to accumulate, to adapt to Madrid, and then he happened, and he was like 27, 28. Same thing with Arjen Robben. His career started propelling after that. Rafinha and Dembouz this season. So I do think Fabian Ruiz, this is the period where he's coming in to his best absolute form, when he's performing at the best possible caliber, and we gotta keep him. We gotta keep him, in my opinion. So my opinion is we should extend Fabian Ruiz. The reports, everything is indicating he's going to stay. And I do believe he's going to extend at Paris Saint Germain. Because first of all, in the summer, Luis Campos and Nasser Khalifa were potentially thinking about selling Fabian Ruiz. Because his market value was at its highest after that Euro. But Luis Enrique came in, vetoed the signing because he sees Fabian as one of his most important players. And Fabian has been one of the most important players in the Champions League knockout stages this season. So Luis Enrique wants Fabian to extend. Fabian Ruiz wants to extend at Paris Saint Germain. He feels very happy. He loves the squad and, is competing for the best trophies available. It's going great for him with the Spanish national team as well. So Fabian Ruiz is now hitting a comfortability peak, where everything, his surrounding, the Spain side is the best it's been, since that golden age. Paris Saint-Germain is the best it's maybe ever been. So there's absolutely no reason for Fabian to want to leave. Paris Saint-Germain want to keep him, or at least majority of the people at Paris Saint-Germain, and there isn't some crazy interest from other clubs. So Fabian Ruiz, in my opinion, looking at him as a player, his abilities, his strengths are not going to be strengths that are removed with him getting older. Quite the opposite. He's a midfielder that excels in IQ, understanding the game, and football technique. This is someone that could do a Modric. This is someone that could play to the age of 35, 36, still at a high quality level. And Fabio Ruiz, during his time at Paris Saint-Germain, it's never been any complaining. Some periods he's been benched for Warren or some other players and heavily rotated and playing in different positions, but he never complains. He loved this role at Paris Saint-Germain, and I see this as a perfect thing from every single party, from Fabian's perspective, from us supporters' perspective, from Luis Enrique, from the Paris Saint-Germain board. His wage is obviously even not that high, so we can even up that wage. Fabian is obviously looking for the best wage he's ever had in his career. Now, this is the last contract. It should be at Paris Saint-Germain. And as you can see, Fabian Ruiz is only earning around 104K per week, which, Gonzalo higher, Dewey higher, Bradley Barcola. So that should go up a little bit, but not too much. And I don't remember if the report mentioned, as you can see, pushing the deadline to 2029. So his current contract ends in 2027. They just want to give him a 2-year extension. He's 29 now, which means in 27 he will be 31, and 29 he will be 33. So I think it's the perfect contract. They'll probably give him a little bit of a wage boost, not too much though. And yeah, this would just be a perfect extension for Paris Saint-Germain, in my opinion. And I'm very glad with this news. Let me know in the comments down below. How do you guys feel about Fabian Ruiz, a player that we were potentially thinking about moving away from in January, is now, one of the most best and most important players in the team. And it's looking like he's going to be extended at Paris Saint-Germain. That's been it from my boy PSG. And hopefully, guys, have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez, allez, allez Paris.